Good evening, how are you today? I realize I haven't done a body painting in a while, and also, autumn is my favorite season. What was I thinking? So today, we're gonna do something autumn related for body painting. So I have this color called Rose Brown, and I use that with a very dense applicator brush to create layering for what will eventually be ground, mulch, dirt, you know. I dilute the first layer into a very translucent version of this color, and as the layers go down, I darken it, and I blend it out and buff it out the drier it gets. I take a pretty small brush here, small because I have a big head and there's a lot of area to cover, and I use white. I don't know if this is me or if it's the amount of water I'm adding to this brush or if it's the brush itself, I'm not too sure. This white is always patchy. With the same dense applicator brush, I use the color orange and I blot random blobs of orange. I don't really care too much about this. Sometimes I blend it into circle immersion, sometimes I just blot it on top. This is going to be our trees, so we don't care how messy it looks initially. I do like asymmetric looks, so this look is not going to be even. And there's no real rules to this. It will look really cool by the end of it, but use your own discretion. Using black, I decided now to go in with a very thin applicator brush. It's not that thin, applicator brush, and create some pretty dark silhouetted trees in the foreground. And then I branch off those trees with a very fine detail brush and black. I think I've mixed black with that rose brown color just to make it warmer, I guess. Now, it's probably smart to use reference images if you don't understand trees. I clearly don't, and I went with it thinking, trees are fine, I know what trees look like. I would have benefited from using a photo. My branches are created to taper off into where most of my quote-unquote leaves and majority of that volume is in my tree, and I just kind of follow that along and go with that, using the color Polka Dot from the Gemini palette, which is going to be your best friend for this look if you have it. If not, any warm brown will do. And I'm using it and a duo fiber brush. I tried to go on with a thin one, but it didn't work. I'm creating an ambiance here. I wanted to create this fog that comes with autumn, where everything is kind of cold, kind of chilly in the morning, and there's just color. I mixed Lorelei and Polka Dot here to create more of that ambiance because I wanted warmth in there as well. This is a very warm and cold look because it's autumn, come on. Basically, I'm trying to get rid of all of the white that I've put and make it foggy, using that same mix of Lorelei and Polka Dot just to make more of a contouring, just to make more atmosphere, more fog around the leaves as well. Taking a blending brush and Lorelei, I do a bit of a glam look here. I try to deepen that light eye. I also go in later into the darker painted eye, and I try to make this more of a glam look. I didn't really do this in my summer collection of body paintings, but I don't know. It felt like it was necessary here because that one eye was very bare. This is just a rough blend out. The initial shape is there and it's going to be there, but I don't really care too much how much I bring it out, and I don't care how neat it looks because it blends and tapers into the ambiance we've tried to create anyway. So I do that using Lorelei, and I also, again, taper it off into the background. I also take it under the chin as a light contour of sorts, and across the nose, not the entirety of the nose, but just where the white paint is to make it look more, I guess, whole as a piece. Using Polka Dot now in that same brush just to deepen the glam part of this look, just on the outer portion of the eye to create that depth, that glam look. We know what glam looks are, you don't need me to explain it. Now going in with Cupcake. I initially tried to use a flat applicator brush, realized I didn't like the way it looked, zoom out so you can get a closer look, and then switch to a fluffy brush because it was easier and the better choice. And I create some trees in the mid-ground. These trees are obviously lighter than the trees in the foreground, but will be darker than the trees that I put in the background later. Just for some more depth and dimension because we love that here. Using Bonnie, which is a black shadow, and a duo fiber brush, I'm creating more dirt and grit into the mud, mulch, dead leaves on the ground, what have you. And I focus that on the bases of these trees, not going up into the atmosphere, but more, if there's a fog, you're gonna see this dust, you're gonna see this dirt. And with a very, very fine detail brush, I use that color Bonnie to create more of a shadow onto the bases of those trees in the midground, just so they can stand out, pop a little bit so they don't just look like lines going up and down my body, you know? I decide here to put a little bit of a base to these trees so they have something to visually stand on. And I use the color Rose Brown, that body painting color, and a very fine detail brush to create that base. As the brush then dries, I blot it out, blend it out, and make it taper off into the bottom part of this background, just so it kind of fits together more. I've taken my duo fiber brush and a mixture of rose brown and black body paint here, just to create what looks like, I was going for mulch, but it could also be dead damp leaves that have already fallen. Taking Lorelei now, and sort of an applicator brush, I try to blend more trees into the background. I also take Luna, and with Luna I create a light shadow, sort of a contour, sort of a fog to Lorelei. It's the lightest color in the Gemini palette, very subtle, but without it you can tell. I took the dense brush again and I mixed orange and red, and I'm blotting in the foreground of the leaves of the trees to create leaves of the trees, and then I add some detailing branches onto my face. You can use your own discretion with this, wherever you've made your splotches and blotches. That's where you can taper off some branches. I add a whole lot of those to my face and pull them back into the hairline to bring everything together. And then on top of that, I add more of those red leaves for dimension and color. And again, there's no real rules with this, whatever you feel. Taking Luna again and a fluffy brush to kind of hide the dodgy white paint and also to finalize that glam look. And I dipped my finger in Gemini. I don't have that clip, but it fits so perfectly with this look. This palette is perfect. I take Bonnie and a very small angle brush and create a faux liner, just because we're going to use lashes. Not because of any other reason. I line the inside of my eyes, here are my lashes, surprise! And using Luna again, and I think Lorelei here actually. Just more ambiance, more blending, more hiding the dodgy white paint job that I did. This is a color by Ben Nye. It's like a deep reddy brown color, and I continue to add ambiance with that and this brown by also Ben Nye. Continue to add ambiance, depth, dimension, layers, all of those words that I've used a million times. We're doing that again with those shadows. And finally, using polka dot and my fluffy brush, I'm going to create a faux contour, more ambiance, putting everything together, and bam! This look is long overdue. The season is almost over, but I love the autumn and I love this look, and I hope you love it too. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I will see you in the next one. Bye!